Okay, hello everyone. We all aim for living in a stable home that has at least four walls, a roof, electricity, water, and other basic facilities available. But there is one guy who chooses to live above and beyond this. Guys, do you know who is a camper? A camper is a person who does not live in a brick and mortar house with all the facilities and amenities available, but lives in a minimalist life in a small tent or camp. He's a risk taker. He could have easily pursued his corporate job and must have been an extremely successful person in his career, but he chose something different, something extraordinary, which gives him fulfillment in his life. He created a van from the scratch, and with basic facilities, he travels with his family, including two small kids, and lives minimalist life. He recently helped Hollywood superstar Mr. Jeremy Renner and Indian veteran actor Mr. Anil Kapoor by creating a truck for the show Renovations that aired on Disney Plus Hotstar. Welcome, Mr. Dhruv North. Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you for joining.
It's my pleasure to be on your show, man. Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you. Is it okay if I call you Dhruv, right?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Right. So because our audience maybe maybe listening in English also, so we'll keep it that way, right?
Yeah, perfect. No
Thank
formalities here.
Yeah, thank you. So Dhruv, my first question is like, if you could tell us about your growing up years, then your career, and then you chose to be as a living in a van life, a camper. So how all these things happen?
So I was born in a place called Pauri Garhwal, which is like a beautiful hill station in Uttarakhand, and it was really nice growing up in a place like that. So later I moved to Delhi after my high school. I moved to Delhi and I went there for education. I wanted to pursue my I wanted to appear for JEE, like, which is IIT
Mm-hmm.
JEE joint entrance
Mm-hmm.
examination.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Things did not go very well. So what really happened was, when I was a young kid growing up, I was very curious. Everything I learned in my school was all applied. I could apply the science, I could apply the learnings. But
Mm-hmm.
the moment I passed out of high school and I entered the 11th grade, everything became hypothetical. So
Mm-hmm.
mera education, I lost my trust on the education system, and basically the schooling became one thing which was a burden on me. And I could not understand a lot of things that were happening.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was hypothetical. Okay, so moved to Delhi, moved for education, but that did not happen. So I had to take a alternate route. Of course, I had to pay my rent, I had to feed myself, and I couldn't tell my family had invested a lot of money on my education, right? I was enrolled in Fitji, I was enrolled in Narayana, and so in the morning hours I used to go to school, then I used to come back, go to Narayana for my coaching. Every weekend I used to go to Fitji for 6 hours class, and there was a lot of money involved in everything. I couldn't tell my parents about like that I'm going to quit the school. See, quitting the coaching and crash courses was okay, but I decided to just get out of school completely and do something on my own. So got out of school, but I had no knowledge, no education. I had no degree. I had no experience. So I started working for a company. It was a call center that I started working for. Worked there for 7, 8, 9 months and figured out that this is something I'm enjoying. I started loving the culture. I started loving people. I started loving the work and everything. And I grew up too fast. So a year down the line, I made a switch, moved to a different organization. Gradually started growing growing up in the ladder, and started succeeding in every sphere of life. So by the time I was like 24, 25, I had made a decent amount of money. I had decent backups. Everything was great. I had a BMW, I had a house, I had everything that you can pretty much think of when you come from a very small town. So those were the aspirations, that I want to buy a house, I want to buy a BMW, and I want to do this, I want to do that. All of those things were done. I was traveling internationally. Things were great. Everything was fine. But then I decided to start up. So I started my own organization, and things went fine for some time. But then it was a pretty risky affair. Over a period of time, I kind of figured out that I am spending too much time doing things which I don't enjoy. and there were certain medical issues as well, because I was spending 16, 17 hours at work every day, because that's a
Yeah.
kind of effort an entrepreneur makes, while uh, making something sustainable. So I was spending 16, 17 hours at work, and I did not know why I was doing it, because money wasn't a problem. I had decent amount of money. I had a beautiful car. I had beautiful family. Everything was there. But I kept asking myself, why am I doing this? Who am I going to show all of this to? So eventually, one fine day, something happened. Some terrible stuff happened. I'll not bore you with the details on what happened, but
No, no, please.
within a week's time,
Hmm.
I lost almost all my fortune. Everything that I had earned over a period of last 10 years, that was gone in just 1 week. And I was back to rugs, the day I started. But the unfortunate part was, this time I had my family with me. So I was married, my wife was there with me. And see, when I came to Delhi, I did not bring much. I came with little bit of cash, few clothes, and that's all. But this time I had my family, I had my dog, and my wife was pregnant, by the way, at that point of time. So that very moment, made me. I was suicidal, by the way, because when you lose everything, uh, when when everything you've worked really hard for, it's all gone into thin air.
Yeah.
You start questioning the sustainability of that particular model. And there was a lot of pressure. I had to pay a lot of debt to people. There were salaries that I had to pay. There were transporters who were after my life, chasing me every day, chasing my car. So I had to sell off almost all my assets to pay people, to pay their salaries and stuff. Then my wife went to her parents house for some time. I had one more car, which was a seven-seater. I removed the seats, so I had no money to afford a hotel or a house. And in fact, I had no money to pay for my food as well. So I decided I'm gonna travel for with the little bit money that I'm left with. I had last 100,000, like 1 lakh rupees left. So I wanted to just save it as much as I can, and spend it wisely. I built a bed in my car. I built a kitchen in my car, and I started traveling. Went to northeast, far far northeast, and learned the tea trade there basically. So there was one thing, when I became super poor, so I was drinking tea all the time. Like, I was sustaining on tea, because it used to cost me 5 rupees that time. And if I would go for a meal, it would cost me 50 rupees or 100 rupees or whatever, something like that. I was on a very short budget, so I would have one meal a day, and rest of the day I would have tea. That made me thinking that, when I was rich, I was drinking this tea, and now when I'm poor, I'm still drinking this tea. So this is common between. This is the bridge between poor and the rich. So I got so fascinated that I started. I went to Northeast, learned the tea trade. I learned tea tasting, got my certifications and everything. There I stayed with a friend's family. So I had a friend in Amritsar. His family was in Guwahati. Stayed with them. They connected me to the right people. And then finally, when I got my certification and all, things started coming back on track. So I had certain lawsuits going on. I had my funds stuck in different places. That started coming back. My life was back to normal. So I was able to afford a BMW again. I bought a BMW again, and everything was okay. But this time I knew that I'm not going to make same mistakes again. So I have a rule in life. It is okay to make mistakes. Make as many mistakes as possible, but just make sure that you don't make the same mistake again. That's the only rule that I follow. If I'm doing a mistake today, probably you'll never see me doing the same mistake again. Right? So this time I wanted to build a more sustainable lifestyle. So anyway, I had lost everything. I was down to ground. I was in the rugs. People around me who I was trying to impress knew that I'm poor, so they anyway left me. So I had no wish to impress them any further. So what I did was I started building a minimalistic lifestyle, wherein I was buying things which make sense. So rather than going to Zara for shopping every month, I started buying local clothes, like something that you get on the roadside and stuff. And I wouldn't buy something which is not good. I would only buy things which are good. But now the difference of price is substantial. I stopped checking into 5 stars and 7 stars and 3 stars. I started checking into decent budget hotels which were clean. Similarly, I started creating a lifestyle which was free from debt. I have zero debt, free from EMIs. So if I can afford something, I'll buy it. If I can't afford it, I would rather wait and then I would buy. Fast forward, I started a tea company. The tea company started doing really well. We made a lot of money. But over a period of time, I got bored with the tea trade as well and decided to call it off because too less of margin, too much of efforts, a big team to afford. So now I don't want to work with a lot of team members. I want to work with small team, which is responsible, which knows what they are here for, and we can all live together like a family. That's how I work. So while I was running my tea trade, I had over 50, 60 people, working for me. And apart from that, there were a lot of unregistered workers as well who get paid in cash and everything. So, managing all of them again became like a job, like a task. So eventually I decided that, the day I would recover everything that I've invested in that tea business, I would probably shut it down. So I did shut it down. So that business, it was called Highway Organic. A good company, a very good company. I have very loyal customers. We were into medicinal teas and things like that. So yeah, but I shut that down. Then I so while I was building this tea company, there was a lot of marketing involved. So while I was marketing for my tea, I started a separate entity which was called Ad Station Media, which was a marketing company that was in collaboration with one of my old friends. He's a marketing guru, and I am mostly into the business development. So we ran that company as well, become really successful, and then eventually I realized that again, I don't want to get stuck in the corporate culture. Now, while all of this was happening, I was building a sustainable lifestyle, which means I was spending time with my family, I was spending time with nature, I was spending time with myself. So in this entire course from 2016 till 2023, I have done multiple treks. I learned martial arts. I went to film school, learned filmmaking. I did so many things. Like I did so much camping, so many other things. Which otherwise, I learned how to play a instrument, which is a ukulele. I learned how to play a harmonica. I started reading a lot, and life suddenly became okay. Like earlier, I was spending 3 to 4 lakh rupees a month to maintain a lifestyle which was anyway not sustainable. Now my expenses got down to 70,000, 80,000 a month, and it was easy for me to earn 70, 80,000 rather than earning for 70, 80,000. I don't have to work that hard, right? And for example, if I do a project, because I'm from the corporate culture, on top of my career, I have managed approximately 3,200 employees simultaneously. So I'm really, really good with people, right? But I don't want to do it now. That the only thing is. So rather than earning a lot of money and then spending a lot of money, now I earn less and spend less and spend the time that I am left with my family and with my friends, with my colleagues and everybody. So long story short, at a very young age, I was able to realize that we have to make money to live. We don't have to live to make money. Now, it's an old saying, but it is very valid. Generally, people realize this after their retirement. And for me, my retirement happened quite early. Now, it's not that I don't work now. I work my ass off almost every day. So just recently, I have taken a place on lease in Manali. I am in Himachal right now as I speak to you. And after this, I'm going to just take you around. So what I really wanted to do was we stay in nature, around right people, call people, do a lot of camping, live naturally, and eat the right food and spend some good time. So I'm going to take you around. I'm going to show you what I've built. So there's a cafe called Out. This cafe is called Out Manali. Out stands for Once Upon a Time in Manali. Okay. The idea is I'm going to stay in Manali for 3-4 months a year, and then travel maybe. And for 3-4 months in summer, so this is going to be like the summer capital for me, and I invite a lot of people. Let me just take you around, okay? Sure. One sec. Yeah. So we'll go in front. I'm going to switch the camera to. Sure. Yes. Okay. So this is the place. Now, first thing first, I'll show you some beautiful mountains. Wow. Look at those snow-covered peaks. Yes, I can see that. Yeah. Then look at these snow-covered peaks. And this is the cafe. It's a very small rustic cafe like the ones you have in Ireland. Wow. And yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
out
So this
out
is called
Manali is the
out
name, right? Yeah,
out Manali. Yeah, yeah.
correct, correct.
So we have very less sitting inside. Two tables here,
Uh-huh.
and then we have some very beautiful handmade. I've made it all with my hand. This
Right.
is all handmade.
I have seen this in progress pictures in your Instagram posts. So
Right. Yeah.
nice,
This is
very nice, man.
yeah. The idea behind this was that during daytime this could be used for eating and all, and people generally love to sit down here and chit chat and all. So it's a nice cozy place.
Right.
But during evening we remove these tables,
Uh-huh.
and I generally invite a lot of volunteers to come here and spend some good time, work in exchange for food and stay and stuff like that.
Right.
So this becomes like a huge dorm sort of a space. They can
Right.
store their stuff here. Then
Right.
we have some outside sitting. This is the outside sitting here.
Uh-huh.
I just got this from a friend. I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. It
Uh-huh.
says blowing in the wind. So a
Wow.
friend came and just brought this. So
Great.
this is the outside of the cafe. The best part about the cafe is
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
garden. So I'm
Uh-huh.
just going to show you the garden. Now
Yes, please.
you'll see this is all jam packed. So these are
Uh-huh.
people from different. So this she has come from Noida. She's
Uh-huh.
staying inside her car.
Uh-huh.
This is another van. They have also come from Noida.
Uh-huh.
He has come from Delhi, and generally people come here. So it's like a community living that I'm trying to promote. So
Right.
these are all the people who are
Right.
here from
Right.
different part
Right.
of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So this
Wow.
is
It's so
yeah. So this is exactly what I
yeah.
wanted to build. Uh, I
Right.
wanted to build some sort of community living,
Right.
and I have been successfully able to build it.
Right.
So basically, this
I'm
Khalsa
so
is
Dhruv, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. And as you were explaining your journey, few things that I could understood is like whatever the journey that you have gone through was looking very full of struggle. But I'm so happy
yeah.
that you have reached to this place where you wanted to reach, or probably the destiny has had planned for you. Uh, and as you are speaking, like I was thinking, no wonder like now your kids doesn't need school. I mean, because they will get everything from you. You have a
Yeah.
variety of experiences, and that they can just utilize it for free. So
See, this entire park, it is absolutely free, and all your audience, whoever is watching this, episode, guys, if you feel like connecting with nature, and if you
yes,
want to unwind, if you just want to regenerate, just feel
right,
free to come here. This place is absolutely free. There is
right.
no charge if you're coming here, pitching your tent, bringing your car, sleeping in your car.
Mhm.
Everything is absolutely free. You get free washrooms, hot water, all of those things are, all on
Right,
me.
right.
Just come here. I would love to hear your stories. And Advait, there's one thing you just said. You talked about destiny. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't agree to that concept of destiny.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what. So I have been following a theory. I'm a Stoic. I call myself a Stoic. I don't follow a religion. I
Mhm.
don't follow any planned religion. So I've
Mhm.
in fact removed my surname. So Dhruv North is not my original name. North, I have kept that myself. Like I mean, I just don't want anybody to reveal my religion or caste or all of those things.
And
So
then
hence I've
people,
changed my name.
yeah, if you have a surname, then people start judging you, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, and there is this thing. For example, I'll give you a quick example about what really happened when the movie Padmavat was, about to get released. You remember what happened? So that Karni
yeah,
Sena, they picked up swords and
right,
everything. They
yeah,
started
yeah.
burning the buses and all. And they are Rajputs.
Mm.
Now they're very proud about their history. I asked a friend who is a Rajput. I was like, "Why are you fighting, man? What?" So I
Mm.
asked him, "Why are you doing this?" He said that this is our pride. I said, "What have you done in your life? You're 23 years old, bro. You've done nothing. You're still surviving on your parents' income, and you're talking about pride. What pride do you have? See your grandparents. They fought. They had that valor. They were the ones who gave up themselves, their lives for the patriotism and rest of the things,
Mm.
for their country, for their state, for their
Mm.
kingdom. They are
Mm.
the ones who should be respected. Why you? Why do
Mm.
you have pride? Like this, I don't understand. In fact, it happens in my family as well. When I was growing up,
Mhm.
My grandparent, my grandmother used to tell me that okay, we are from that Unchi wali jaat. You know what is that Unchi wali jaat? That we can't eat with these sort of people, that sort of people. I think of these things a lot, and I think that why am I from a Unchi wali jaat?
Right.
Like why do I have to be somebody who cannot eat with everybody? So those concepts, or for that matter, the place where I was born, there were a lot of Muslim families around. My grandmother, she came from Pakistan, right after
Mm.
partition. So she has
Mhm.
those bad memories with whatever happened during partition. But that's not me, right? And that's not them. These guys did not do anything wrong. So during every Eid, I don't cook. There's no food that we cook at our home. We get our food from all the Muslims in and around.
Mhm.
Every time there is a different festival. So it's like I personally feel that all of these factors are imbibed in us. Like
Right.
you belong to a certain caste, you belong to a certain religion, you have this upper thing, we do this, they do that. All of this is bullshit, is what I feel.
Right. Right.
And for this reason, I have not given. I have two sons. One is 5 year, one is 2 months. I have not given them any surname. So my elder one is Veer. His surname is Veer. So Veer is his name. That's what his passport says.
Wow.
And the younger one is Angad. Angad does not have a birth certificate yet, but once he has a birth certificate, he would be Angad. Like I'm just not gonna put a caste or a religion or something. Yeah, Indian. I am very patriotic. I'm
Right.
definitely going to write down Indian because this is the place where I got birth, and I am super patriotic about my country. I would do anything for my country. But not religion, man. Religion is man-made, right? Like religion is something which will separate you from others. It will
Right.
make you either better or worse. It
Right.
doesn't make sense to me,
I,
right?
I, I I
So yeah,
really appreciate, Dhruv, your conviction and your actions. Basically, many people have this
yeah,
kind of experiences in life about this kind of thing that you just mentioned, but very very few people, rare people, like they take some actions on these things. So
you
great.
have to be fighting all the time. No, I have been fighting all the time. So
Right.
when you decide, for example, my kids don't go to school. My son doesn't go to school, and I have to fight my own family, my peers. Every time there are new folks who come here or meet me, they ask me, what about kids schooling and all. I myself wasn't convinced with schooling, so I'm pro education but anti schooling.
Right.
Matlab, I am definitely
Right.
anti schooling. See,
Right.
if there are 30 kids in a class, you know one would be first grader, like one would be first, second, other would be second, there would be a third, and then everybody else would be average or below average.
Hmm.
So when you have 30 kids in school, there are kids who would not be able to qualify for first, second, and third grade. So
Hmm.
they'll have to settle down with the average. Now, are they really average? Did we find out what they are good at? The answer is no.
Right.
Or somebody who's just settling down for below average.
Hmm.
Did we find out what's in it in them? There must be something unique about every kid. What generally happens is that for you to succeed, for you to become number one, you have to compete with other 30 kids. When you're
Hmm.
competing with those 30 kids, what generally happens is you let go of your creativity. You are just a robot memorizing the information and replicating it on a piece of paper, and then somebody is judging you on the basis of the replication that you have done, right? So our schooling system is so terrible that we get awarded for memorizing. Why can't you just go to Google and type something, get an answer there? No, why do you have to learn when did Tipu Sultan died, or when did this happen, when did that happen? Google is there. See, I understand maths, very important. Linguistic skills, English and other languages, Hindi is the one of the most important language. These are important skills, right? Then science is important, right? But how are we applying the science? That is a problem. We are mugging up the information. अगर
Right.
पूरा पैराग्राफ में एक भी मिस्टेक नहीं है, एक द और आ की भी मिस्टेक नहीं है, you get full marks. Now you're just creating chat gpt. You're what are you creating? You're creating the human version of chat gpts. That's the only thing you are creating. It
Right.
doesn't make sense to me,
Right.
right? Secondly, the creativity is lost. When a kid is burdened with grades and rankings and stuff like that, generally what happens is he or she starts competing with other kids, and he doesn't get time to think about different aspects. So I'm just waiting the day my kid shows me any sign.
Hmm.
Let's say he says I want to play football, and he actually shows interest. So for now my son is very much interested in stone collection. So everywhere he goes, his pockets are always full of stones.
Hmm.
My car seats are always full of stones. Our house is always full of stones, so
Hmm.
I don't understand, how do I comprehend that, whether he will become a gemologist, or whether he will become a builder or something like that. Whatever it is, I am going to put all my efforts to make sure that he pursue his career in
Right.
whichever direction he wants to go. So
Right.
very unconventional way. Currently we are homeschooling him.
Hmm.
That gives us flexibility to go to any part of the country around
Hmm.
any time. So we are not bound with time. We are
Hmm.
not bound with a place, and
Hmm.
it's a happy-go-lucky life. So whenever I feel that my funds are depleting, my
Hmm.
savings are depleting, I
Hmm.
generally start working. I pick up some projects from here and there. Like, I would start doing my marketing. Will pick up a project.
Hmm.
Generally, my expertise is helping startups, uh, get to a level wherein they can actually become investment ready. So setting
Okay.
up their sales processes, their SOPs, setting up their business developments. So making a organization investment ready. That's my core competency. And I
Right.
worked in the tech space. I am that guy who understands tech as
Right.
well as sales. So I am able to
Right.
do a lot of stuff. So basically, setting up the entire sales division is what I can do really well.
Right.
Setting up new businesses, starting up, all of those things are something that I enjoy doing.
Hmm.
So whenever I feel that my funds are going to deplete, I start working,
Hmm.
and we do a project, and then I make money, and then I do things that I love to do. But now
Right.
with the cafe kind of a thing,
Uh-huh.
it's a pretty beautiful model. I get to meet new people every day. I get to spend some quality time with them. I get to live in nature. I get to eat right food, and at the same point of time, because it's my own business, so I don't really have to worry about the funds and all. Yeah, it's too much of work. I sleep at 2:30, 3 a.m. in the morning,
Hmm.
and at times I ask, am I enjoying it? The answer is yes. For now, the answer is yes. If I don't enjoy it someday, probably I'll not do it. But for
Right.
now, I'm enjoying it.
Right. Right. And Dhruv, so like I understood whatever you said. My question is, how did you convince your parents? Because they must have thought some different life journey for you. Uh, how do you manage the relationship with them as well? Because they must be living in their house somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I did not convince anybody.
okay.
That's all. I mean, I never convinced anybody.
Right.
And see, now the part of taking a decision is
Mm-hmm.
accepting the responsibility of any goof up that happens.
Hmm.
So whenever I took a decision,
Mm-hmm.
I knew it will come with consequences. If things
Mm-hmm.
go right, everybody supports you. If things go wrong, everybody starts blaming you. So I knew that I don't have to convince anybody, because end of the day, if I goof up, if everything get messed up like it happened, I was the one who has to pick myself. So one factor that helped me a lot is I never had any godfather. I never had any cushion.
Hmm.
I never had anybody who would hold me when I'm falling down. So I knew
Mm-hmm.
it has to be me. So I never convinced my parents. I told them what I'm supposed to do and what am I going to do, and I
Mm-hmm.
told them that this is where my happiness lies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that my parents have always been
Okay.
supportive, you know,
Right. Right.
supportive. But in contrary, if my parents wouldn't have been supportive, if I would have been born in a family which wouldn't have supported my decision, then probably I would have still taken those decisions. I'm a rebel, right?
Okay.
I know what is right for me. I know
Right.
what is right for me. If I've taken a wrong decision, I'll fix it.
Right.
I'll not live with those wrong decisions. So I am very quick to fix my issues. So whenever I commit a mistake, I take no time to fix it, and that
Mm-hmm.
has been my nature always. And I have done more mistakes than anybody probably can think of, right? I have started up almost 15, 16 times in my entire career. Like there are, so even when I was working for my employer, I
Mm-hmm.
was running my businesses simultaneously. I have failed over 20, 12, 13 times, and out of 15 times, I've succeeded only 2 or 3 times. So,
Mm-hmm.
अपने lifetime में, I don't know a lot of people who generally do 12 or 13 different businesses and then fail at them. So I failed terribly a lot of time, but वो एक दो बारी जो सक्सीड हुआ ना वो सारा कवर अप कर जाता है.
कवर अप करा है.
And because of all the failures that I've had in my life, all the failures combined together, you know, they have made me who I am right now. I can do
Absolutely.
everything. So, like I showed you, I am a handyman. I can fix cars. I can build cars. I can do plumbing. I can do, see, all those handy skills I already have. You talk about engineering, I am an expert in automotive engineering. You talk about electricity, I am an expert in electrical engineering. So, ये सब, if you talk about tasting, I am a teetotaler. You talk about marketing, I can run ads better than any Tom, Dick, and Harry in the world. So open challenge to anybody who's running Facebook or Instagram ads. Come and show me your costing. I'll bring it down no matter what. You talk about filmmaking. Went to film school, learned the art, practice. Today I am known in the YouTube world because of my cinematography and different things. My cameras. How do I work with it? So all I'm trying to say is,
Right.
the essence of good life is failing. That's the essence.
Mm-hmm.
Generally we are taught that we are not supposed to fail. We are supposed to pass. That's a super stupid theory. You fail in life at every moment. In your relationships you're failing. Your first relationship don't work out. You don't know how to handle that breakup, and then you do stupid things, right? You don't know how to build a company. You build a company and then you failed. You are
Right.
into debts. Nobody tells you how to get out of those debts. Nobody tells you how to go about things. So the problem with our society and our current education system is we don't teach people on how to fail and how to succeed after that, like how to get up after failing. and
Right.
and people get stuck with small things. For example, let's say I just went through a breakup. I would do certain things, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the kids these days. They would cut their nerves, they would try committing suicide, they would do stuff which does not make sense, because all of these things are very, very, very temporary. But there has to be somebody who can tell them.
Right.
And who's that? That is our education system, which doesn't talk about failing. That's
Right.
the problem.
Right.
We don't embrace, we don't appreciate people who have at least tried. Okay, like I'm not saying
Absolutely.
that you should
Absolutely.
congratulate somebody for failing. You don't congratulate people for failing. You tell them it is okay to fail, and you tell them the next plan. You don't, like, see, there are kids who would just not work hard. There is a different theory for them. But for the ones who are trying hard and they're failing in a certain, for example, I was failing in a certain subject, like not failing, but I was scoring less than others. So everything kept aside, I was scoring 99 in computers. I was scoring 96 in English. I was scoring 91 in maths. The entire focus went to that one subject, which was history, that I was never good at because I couldn't really memorize those dates. So, I'm kind of offended. This entire education system has offended me. The society has offended me, and I really wanted to build something on my own. So maybe in near future I'll build my own systems, my own things, wherein we start respecting people. People live with each other with love, a lot of love, and we really do things which we want to do.
Right.
That's the whole essence of it. I wanna do things that I really wanna do. I wanna stay in control. I don't want to be guided by what others are telling me. Don't want to live with fears and greed and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's my take on this.
Absolutely. Okay, Dhruv. So let me tell you, Dhruv, by far, whatever the interviews that I have taken, this is the most I would say inspiring, and like I'm so excited, and I believe that I'll need one more session with you, to know more so many things. But okay, coming back to this, I have two things in my mind. Of course, I want to know about your van. If you could give us a walkthrough of the van also. Plus,
Yeah.
but before that, you mentioned a few minutes back that you are a person who doesn't make a same mistake again, right? And
Yeah.
free to pass this question, but if you could tell us about some of the past mistakes that you made, which actually made you this person that you are today, right? If you don't want to answer, that's completely okay. Why I'm asking is,
No.
your those mistakes or your failures will be really like a lesson learned, and the viewers who will see this, they will get more than 100%.
See, I'll give you things are, we try, say, for example, the way you ask this question is, it seems as if this is a very important question. It is actually not. The essence is not to do the same mistake again. I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Day before yesterday, I was working on my laptop editing, and there was a
Mm-hmm.
coffee kept just next to me, and the coffee spilled.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the learning? I almost lost my laptop. A Mac cost you almost 1.5 lakh rupees. So that was a loss of almost 1.5 lakh rupees. Now, what is the learning? I'm never going to keep my coffee next to my Mac ever again. Very simple thing. You know, it's like things are not that complicated, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One another thing, what other example can I give you? Yeah,
Because
the other day
I
I
thought,
was
because I what I understood is that maybe you made some so-called like big mistakes, which
no,
you.
there are no mistakes which are big, bro. The
Mm-hmm.
mistakes that every mistake that we do is pretty small. It is the habit.
Mm-hmm.
If your habits are wrong, you are byproduct of your habits,
Right.
right? The mistakes that you do in your daily life contribute towards your habit. Your habit contribute toward your life. Your bank account, your health, your wealth, everything is a pure reflection of your habits,
Right.
right? So there is no one single mistake. If you ask me what is that one single mistake that you've done which has costed you a lot and you'll never do that again, that is maybe, and for others it could be it could be something else. But I used to do a lot of there was a time when my leg was broken. I was bedridden. I started trading. I opened a demat account, started trading, lost a lot of money. But is that a mistake? I don't think so. The problem is I was not clear about fundamentals. I was greedy and I was fearful. So when I was greedy, I was holding on to things which I should have sold. When I was fearful, I was selling. When the market was dipping, I was selling. So that's not a mistake. That's not a
Right.
mistake. So I'm like I said, there is no mistake big enough that cannot be repaired. I'm saying every small mistake that you do, just keep a count. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. Another example that I'll give you, and these are very stupid and silly things that I'm talking about. Okay, uh, the other day, what used to happen when I built my van.
Mm-hmm.
The inverter, I kept the inverter box. I made an inverter box in such a way that you have to go out of the van. I want to see whenever there are lead acid batteries, they release some fumes which are harmful for health. So I wanted to conceal that compartment so there is no fume inside. So I made a box outside which can
Mm-hmm.
be opened from the outside body, right? So every time I'm driving and I had somebody with me, let's say my wife is with me, so and we have to turn on the inverter to so that we can get power inside the van, like for running our fans or running our cell phones or laptops or whatever. Somebody has to go out,
Mm-hmm.
open the door, or open that compartment, turn on the inverter, put it back on, and come back in. Uh, I figured out it's a design flaw. If I could have just given a small hole because there was a glass in front, and I thought, okay, if I can drill a small hole, put a finger in, turn on the inverter from there on, close the hole, so you don't have to go out. So I was doing it one day. I started drilling, but I figured out that there is a nail. I figured out that the drill is not going in. The driller is getting burnt out. So I took a hammer, put a nail, and started, hitting it. Suddenly, I figured out that the glass is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Will I do this mistake? No, very stupid thing. But I'll not do it again. That's how it is. I'm not gonna do this
I think
mistake
you are
again. So there
very,
is.
yeah, you are a very mindful person, I must say. And you are, I believe you are the most of the time you are aware about what you are doing and what you are thinking.
Bro, nothing is permanent in this world. That's
Right?
one thing I'm aware of. If I'm aware of one thing, that is nothing is permanent. Your
Mm-hmm.
family is not permanent. Your finances are not permanent. Your health is not permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Everything requires constant work. So if you ignore one aspect, it
Mm-hmm.
will definitely show up in your habits. Basically, your habits will be formed in that way. And over a period of time, that particular aspect is definitely going to give you some sort of issue. Now, a lot of times people think that and I've worked with some really great people in the world. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm genuinely talking about very big personalities. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to name those guys. I've seen people growing from scratch
Mm-hmm.
and becoming multi billionaire with a B. Okay, I've seen that happening personally, and I've worked with those guys. I've spent time with those guys. One thing that I know, these people never make a fuss about any big thing. So if I talk about one guy in particular who I worked for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
he was a billionaire. He was a billionaire, but he also lost almost all his fortune immediately, like in within a year's time. If I look at him and figure out what mistake did he do, I couldn't see any. I couldn't see any. The only mistake I saw he was doing was that he was spending more than he was earning. Right? Like so yeah, one mistake. If you ask me, one particular mistake that I can tell the entire new generation to be aware of is uh, try, if you want something, go get it. It's all right, but try spending less than what you earn, because that will always keep you in control. Or dusra, another thing. Okay, this is going to be a little visual. A friend of mine, this I learned it from a friend of mine. He said that, Dhruv, when you have money in your account, you know, you sit like this. This means you're relaxed. And when you don't have money in your bank account, and I'm talking about specifically business, when you start a business, when you have money in your account, you sit like this. When you don't have money in your account, you sit like this. So this entire gesture changed everything. He told me that, bro, with money you would have control. With control, you would be able to do a lot of things which you can't do otherwise.
Right.
And another thing is to stay strong when things are not going right. When things don't go right, we try quitting things. Don't quit. Like when you're in business, spend some years. At least जो जितनी देर तक खड़ा रहता है वो उतना ही ज्यादा उसकी probability successful होने की बढ़ जाती है.
Right.
So no mistake that I've done is big enough to kind of I can't, if I have to create a book of mistakes, it would be full in an hour or so. Then I'll have to get another book. Right. But no mistake is big enough which can contribute, which I can say is the biggest one. Yeah.
Right.
The only big mistake that I can think of is not giving time to your family, not living life enough, not spending time with yourself. So no mistake is big enough, bro. It's like, do it as much as you can, commit as many mistakes as possible. That's the thing I believe in.
Right. And one thing that I could feel is that, as you said, you are a rebel. But my question is like, are you at peace?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So now again, when you say, are you at peace? I am in peace with myself. I am doing whatever I want to do, and this is exactly what I want to do. But having said that, I always have those wandering eyes. Like there's something I'm looking for. For some time, it gets diluted because I get busy with doing things, and that is what I was talking about when I said I'm a Stoic. I follow a theory called Stoicism. Generally, this was popularized by famous personalities like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and there were a few more. And there are so many people in the current world. Stoicism says that if something happens with you for the first time, it is always going to be painful. So there is the concept of planned suffering. So let's say, you are stuck in a desert. You have no food, no water. It's going to be terrible, right? But let's say once in a year you plan it, that for next 2 days, 3 days, I'm not going to eat any food. I'm only going to survive on water. And you do it every year. Let's say in a situation like this, you're stuck. It is going to be less painful. Or for that matter, let's say you're broke. Like let's say you lose all your money and you start living below your means and everything. It is going to be super difficult. So once in a year, twice in a year, I practice becoming broke, go without money, do things without money. Or for that matter, let's say you have to let go of your house is gone, things are gone. I generally sleep on the floor. So the man who sleeps on the floor cannot fall from his bed. That's the kind of thing that I follow. So the entire concept is about the entire concept of planned suffering puts you into perspective, which means that something that would happen, which has already happened, is going to be, you'll be more experienced. You would know how to handle it. And then there is another theory which is associated with Stoicism closely. It is called nihilism, existential nihilism. So existential nihilism says that, and I've recently learned it like few years ago. I used to always think, what is my purpose in life? What is my purpose in life? Why am I here? मैं क्यों पैदा हुआ? Who am I? All those stupid questions which those gurus put in our brain. Since I came across this existential nihilism, it says that you are the one who give purpose to your own life. So for me, right now the purpose is to grow old with right people. So I'm building a community wherein no matter which part of the country I go to, I have people to look up to. We can be family. I'm earning people every day. Every single day, I'm earning more people than anybody else in my own circle. So that's my purpose.
Right,
And probably this might change. This might change someday. But for now, this is my purpose.
right,
What I'm trying to say is that when you get rid of when you get rid of those preconceived notion that there is a destiny, everything is written. If everything is written, what do you have? What are you doing here? Like, why are you even working hard? If everything is written, why are you even making effort? And it can't be written. I don't think so. Because if it was written, it must have been written by somebody who's logical. Somebody who made the world must be really logical, must be really creative. He can't put too much of pain in the world. So there's nothing written. You
mm,
are the one who's writing your own story. Right?
right.
These haath ki lakire and all those stuff, all of that is, I think, very stupid. Because this keeps changing.
That reminds me, Dhruv, of like I'm a little bit filmy, so that reminds me of a role of Ajay Devgan in Drishyam. He creates his
Yeah,
own story, and so so he creates the future for his own. I mean, his family and all. But yes, okay.
exactly, man.
Yeah. Dhruv, my next question and it's about like your wife, your partner, in this kind of journey, which is a little bit different from the usual part. The partner plays a major role. How did you enroll
Hmm.
her, or how did you, I would not say convince, but how did you get enroll her basically कि भाई हमें ऐसी
Yeah.
लाइफ जिएंगे, right?
See,
And
I
her
haven't been
support.
able to convince her.
हाँ,
I haven't been able to convince her
हम्म,
that हम ऐसी लाइफ जिएंगे.
हाँ,
तो जनरली देखो वर्ल्ड में कुछ श्योर ही नहीं है. There's no surety in the world,
हम्म,
right?
हम्म,
So she knows that this is what we are going to do now, and I decide things on a very temporary basis. That okay, this is what I'm going to do now.
हम्म,
Would I be doing it in future? I don't know. So
हम्म,
if this is happening, if this is nice, we'll do it. So we kind of meet halfway. I have certain ways of doing things. She has certain way of doing things. She wants something. I want something. We always meet halfway, which means we'll do things as per her, and then we'll do things as per me. Both of us are happy, and then there are disagreements at times, which means she's not happy doing what I'm doing. So probably she'll not participate. In those moments, I would walk my own journey. It's me and myself only, and that's one thing that I've learned in life, that nobody comes with you to your grave. Not even your kids, not even your wife, nobody, not your parents, nobody. So, and everybody has a life of their own. We
हम्म,
shouldn't. We can advise. We should not interfere. So we respect each other in terms of the things that she wants to do and I want to do. Of course, if I love to do something, I try and convince her to be a part of it. There are, and 99% I'm able to convince. See, I'm from sales. you know Mostly I'm able to convince her that we are going to do this. But if at certain point of time she does not enjoy it, then I don't push her to stay a part of it.
right.
That's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so
You're
having the
close.
right partner is very important. Both of you have to make effort. See, if I would have been a single guy, probably I would have not been living like this. I wouldn't have had a car. I would just have a tent, and I would be living in a tent. Maybe I wouldn't earn money. But because of her, things are a little balanced. We have kids, we have family, and it's really nice to have family. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just saying that, like you're very close to reality. I mean, your reality check is more than 100%.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that is true. That is true. I generally want to live life the way it is. No fantasy. No
okay.
fantasy. The fantasies are gone.
Right. Okay. And Dhruv, about the van. So if you could show us the van also, I mean, that would be.
So my
Uh,
one of my van is here.
uh-huh,
It is called Nissan Evalia.
uh-huh,
Generally, people know me for my van, which is currently parked in Ahmedabad.
uh,
So what we'll do is I'll share some videos with you after
uh-huh.
this session, so
Sure.
you can just build those. I'll tell you about it, so you can put those videos as a B-roll. Now, I bought this van in 2017 after that crash, after I built my car, the first car. I realized that, my family cannot fit in. Secondly, I was not sure how long I am going to pursue that particular
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I bought a, a, a van which was like completely rotting, and
Mm-hmm.
it's called Matador. Matador used to be the van which was
Yeah,
used
yeah,
by
right,
schools,
right,
schools and hospitals back in the days. It was discontinued in the year 2000.
correct.
So I bought a completely scrapped vehicle and I started building it. Took me almost 3 years to build it and build it beautifully. Now, wherever I go, everybody is kind of stopping me, asking me about different things, and it
Mm-hmm.
is a very practical sort of a van. So
Mm-hmm.
for last from December to March, from December to February, I was with my family inside that van, living around Rajasthan and Gujarat region of the country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So very beautiful. It gave me that van actually gave me everything. It's like everything that I learned in 3-4 years. तो जो मेरी वैन थी finally it gave me a lot of publicity, it gave me a lot of love from different sort of people. It is very unique, it is the only van in the country, पूरी country में एक ही van है ऐसी. And देखते ही लगता है कि यार it is lovely, आप you will fall in love with it immediately when you look at it. And it has also been featured in the last documentary that I did with Disney. So I worked with like you said, I worked with Jeremy Renner on renovation with Anil Kapoor and Jeremy Renner. My van is also featured there.
Right.
So yeah, overall, this I'll send you the videos. You can just put the clips on top, so
Sure, sure.
audience would be able to see. And one quick advice:
Yes, please.
if anybody look at the video and wants to build a similar van, the advice is don't build it. It is
Uh-huh.
going to be a costlier affair. It's costlier. So if you want to build something more sustainable. I am going to build something more sustainable very quickly. For
Okay.
now, I am kind of living in this Evalia. I'll just show you.
Yes, yes.
This is another van that is parked here. This also has almost everything. But because my family is growing, so I'm not going to keep this with me for long. I'm going to build a bigger vehicle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is Evalia. It has everything. It has a kitchen. It has
Okay.
almost all the. Let me do one thing. Let me just get the keys, and maybe if you can
Yes.
see.
Yeah, I
Let me
can.
get the keys. 1 second, okay?
Yeah, please. Yeah. Thank you.
So this is my Evalia van,
Okay.
and so opening the front seat.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a swivel seat.
Okay.
Basically, what happens is you sit here, and this is the back portion. Okay, there's a sofa
Wow.
there,
Right.
and this is here. इसकी भी मैं आपको clips दे दूंगा on how exactly it operates and all.
Uh-huh.
यहाँ पे एक टेबल लग जाती है, so you can eat breakfast and all. This is a fridge. So it's
Okay.
a 12-volt DC fridge.
Uh-huh.
There is a full-fledged kitchen here. ये
Uh-huh.
kitchen है, ये wash basin है.
Wow.
And then I have at the back, if you see, there are some curtain rails, वो सारों के सारे. So it becomes like a shower facility. It has solar power. It is solar powered. I'm going to show you how it looks.
Oh, okay.
This entire thing is solar powered. It has approximately 400 watts of solar power.
Okay.
And it has a bed here. ये जो है, with the press of a button, it becomes a bed. And then there is a bed on top. So this entire roof goes up.
Okay.
And it becomes a complete bed. So yeah, this
Great.
is like a good camper for approximately.
You created this? You did this all this?
Multiple people. So it would be wrong for me to say that I did it, because you can't do anything alone. There are a lot of people who have worked on this van. This originally belonged to one of my subscribers who started building it but wasn't able to finish it. So I finished it and I'm now using it. Plus, I'm going to sell it very soon because I'm planning to build a bigger vehicle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it about the van.
Okay. Fine. Since I had not planned this the question, but I want to ask you because I believe at this moment you would be the right person to answer this. How to take decision?
Just take it.
Okay.
You don't have to think too much before taking a decision. Ratan, this is not me who's saying this. This is what Ratan Tata says. He says that you make a decision and then you find a way to fix it if it is not the right decision. Just decide. See, you came with nothing, bro. You came with nothing. What are you going to lose? You were born naked. You came with nothing. Everything that happened here. Everything that you earned here. What are you going to lose?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just have your backups ready. Like when I say backups ready, I'm saying like I did like once upon a time, my wife had to go to her home. I did that mistake once. It is never going to happen again, right? Every mistake that I'll do, every risk that I'll take, would make sure that at least I would have a 6 month sort of a backup, which will ensure that my family would remain safe and secure, right? At least a 6 months of backup, because if you are good enough, you'll rise back within 6 months. If you're stupid, if you're dumb, it will take you 6 years. You'll still not be able to get up. So 6 months backup is more than enough. A year would be even better. But more than that is just going to go in your bank accounts and assets and rest of the stuff, and you'll have to then guard it. You'll have to be worried about it and all those stuff. So overall, I feel that if you have something in mind, you want to take a decision, just take a decision. Worst case scenario, you'll fail. If you'll fail, just get up again, make another stupid decision, and one day one of the decision will not be stupid, it will be the right decision, and that will cover up everything. So just make decisions, don't think too much. I see people spending way too much time deciding something. Everything is temporary. Why spend so much time?
Right. Okay. And my last two questions were actually, I was going to ask you about the which I asked to every my guest about the self-talk and the self-love. But after discussing all these things, I can totally understand what your self-talk or your internal dialogue will be. And but I want to understand, how do you make effort on self-care or loving yourself, so that you can come up with your best version all the time. I know you are living in with the nature there, everything is good, but is it something that you do like a meditation or some positive affirmations or
So
nothing?
I have tried meditation a lot of time, and I failed 100% times. Like, so I've tried sitting in silence. I've tried sitting next to a river, watching it and just meditating. I've tried watching a flame of a candle flicker and meditating. Never happened. I was never able to calm my mind. And then one day I realized that we have been lied to. हमें झूठ बोला गया है. Meditation is something else. Meditation is calming. Meditation is focusing on just one thing at a time, and maybe not even focusing on one thing, just not focusing anywhere. That's what meditation is all about. So for me, anytime I feel I am in too much stress, I go to sleep. I do nothing. I just go to sleep. When I wake up, I'm fine. My stress is less. Anytime I feel I need, there is a dire need of focusing on one thing, I just go do my dirty dishes. मैं गंदे बर्तन मांज लेता हूँ, bathroom साफ कर लेता हूँ. That is meditation for me. I get inside my car, start fixing things. I start organizing my cupboard. All of those things. When you are able to get rid of clutter, you are automatically, your brain become in sync. See, meditation is a lie. And anybody who wants to contest, I am more than open for a dialogue. Meditation is a lie of the modern society promoting, like they want you to pay, right? They want you to pay. That's a way to extract money. I have a million ways to extract money out of your pocket. I'll tell you a story, you'll believe in the story, you'll follow that story, you'll pay me money. That's one business. I respect people working hard to make money, right? It's okay, but doesn't work with me. Anybody who comes to me and says that, oh, I have been able to meditate, really, I would love to have a dialogue with that person. So if you talk about my self-dialogue, the only dialogue is, if towards the end of the day, whatever I am doing is making me happy, that's it. I'm good. I'm really, really happy doing that. I just don't want to think too much about future. All I want to do is think about the present and live in another few months. That's it. Like, have a backup for a few months. That's all. This gives me a life which is full, which is enriched, which is full of mindful things that I can do.
Do you read books?
Yeah, extensively. A lot of books. But here's an interesting thing. While growing up, I used to read a lot of self-help. Now I have stopped reading self-help.
Okay.
And I'll give you the reason why. I have now started reading fictions.
Okay.
So when you read fiction, You explore the possibilities in the world, which
Mm.
generally don't exist in every mind. So if I have to write fiction, you know, it's going to be something else. That is the capacity of my brain. As far as my brain can take me, that's going to be my fictional story.
Mhm.
With the self-help, the problem is nobody tells you the real story. And how am I sure? Because I worked with two organizations which became Asia's or Fortune 500. So I worked with two different organizations which became Fortune 500 from scratch.
Mhm.
And when I read the story
Mm.
of when I read how the story is portrayed, I know there's no reality in it. Nobody will ever tell you, guys. Nobody will ever tell you how they succeeded.
Mhm.
Nobody will ever tell you how they succeeded,
Mhm.
because that's a secret recipe, and that is for you to figure out.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
ultimately, people read a lot of self-help. Wake up 4 a.m. in the morning. Okay, theek hai, उठ गए 4 a.m. Take a cold shower. Bloody put yourself into a jail rather. All rather than doing. If my business is working fine,
Mm.
if I'm waking up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and my business is doing good, why do I have to wake up at 4 a.m.? Why do I have to take cold shower? See, there is a logic behind everything, of course, right?
Mm.
Cold shower would induce a shock in your body, so you're ready. All of those things are great, okay? But to each his own. Something will work for me, something else will work for you.
Mm.
Both you and me can't have the same way of doing things. So self-help is stupid. Self-help is super stupid. And आजकल की जो self-help आ रही है ना, mostly they are inspired by the ones which are already written in the past. So
Mm.
I read a lot of fiction now. I read Haruki Murakami,
Mhm.
and I read a lot of French authors.
Mhm.
I've read Leo Tolstoy. I've
Wow.
read
Wow.
I mean a lot of different things. I There's a specific author called Dr. Brian Weiss. I like his work.
Wow. About the past lives, right?
Yeah, Many Lives, Many Masters, or
Many lives,
Messages from
many
the
lives.
Master.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite authors.
Wow.
Then George Orwell is my one of my favorite author.
Mm.
Animal Farm, one of his greatest books,
Mhm.
or 1984. All of these are beautiful work of arts, that these guys have produced. So
Have,
yeah,
have you read?
eventually I'm kind of like,
Dhruv, have you read Autobiography of a Yogi?
yeah, by Paramahansa Yoganand.
Thomas
I've
Yogananda,
read that. Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's a I do I mean I don't want to talk about this one. This might hurt a lot of religious sentiments, but I feel that book was very powerful once upon a time in my life. That gave me a lot of perspective. But now when I reflect, I don't think जैसा परमहंस योगानंदा की लाइफ है ऐसी किसी और की हो सकती है. तो it's too magical, too mystical,
Mm.
not near the reality. It's not at all near reality. So great, it is his autobiography, and he has been a magical soul. But जो चीजें मतलब देखो, अगर आप बोल दो कि ये फिक्शन है, आई लव टू रीड इट एंड आई वुड लव टू एंजॉय इट, देन बट मैं उसको फिर फिक्शन की तरह पढ़ूंगा.
Mm.
फिर मैं उसको एक ऑटोबायोग्राफी की तरह नहीं पढ़ूंगा.
Mm.
बट ऑटोबायोग्राफी में देयर हैज टू बी सर्टेन रियलिटीज which I can connect with, which I can reciprocate with. तो उसमें वो मुझे दिखती नहीं है, अब नहीं दिखती, पहले दिखती थी. बट वो ये ना, इंसान टाइम के साथ चेंज हो जाता है. एक टाइम पे आई वाज वेरी रिलीजियस, तो दैट टाइम दैट बुक मेड अ लॉट ऑफ सेंस टू मी. नाउ आई एम नॉट रिलीजियस एट ऑल. So the only religion now I follow is nature. Nature has been the only constant force in the history. जो जो आग आपको यहाँ इंडिया में जलाती है, वही आपको यूएस में भी वैसे ही जलाएगी. वो आज से 50 साल बाद भी वैसे जलाएगी. वो 50 साल पहले भी वैसे जलाती थी. जो सूरज यहाँ दिखाई देता है, वही सूरज आपको दूसरे देशों में, आप जहाँ बैठे हो वहां भी वैसे ही सूरज है, और यहाँ भी ऐसे ही सूरज है. So these are constant factors. These factors have never changed. All these 5 elements that we talk about, nature never changes. Rest everything changes. You pick up any religion, see the modulations. आप 100-200 किलोमीटर दूर चले जाओ, अलग रिलीजन स्टार्ट हो जाता है. हिंदू, आई एम हिंदू, बट जो हिंदुइज्म मैं फॉलो करता हूँ, वो 200 किलोमीटर आगे चेंज हो जाता है, भाषा चेंज हो जाती है, एवरीथिंग चेंजेस. तो द रिलीजन दैट आई फॉलो इज कांस्टेंट. I don't follow a planned or a man-made religion.
Mm.
Yeah, that's my thing. And जब से ये हुआ है ना,
Mm.
and I'm not saying that I am an atheist. No, I'm not an atheist.
Mm. Mm.
I am not an atheist. I definitely believe that there is a force which has created everything so perfectly. Look at your body, it is so perfect. It is so perfect. So I definitely believe there is a force, but I don't believe that it is the name that we give to that force. It's not that. It is beyond our imagination. It is beyond our understanding.
Wow, I feel like I keep on listening to you, like on and on. I don't feel like to stop here, but okay. So, but yeah, Dhruv, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation and for your
My
availability.
pleasure.
And
It's my pleasure.
I would request and I would suggest कि ऐसे कुछ मेरे जैसे लोग हो गए जो आपको reach out करे. So I mean, it was very kind of you. You immediately shared your number. So please continue to share your stories, your
It's my pleasure.
people.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. I mean, like you itself, you are yourself is a school. I feel like so. Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you for your time. Is there anything?
Anytime you are available, just come to Manali. We'll have some good time together.
Absolutely. Now it will be there in my list. At least if I come there, I'll call you. Yeah. Is there anything, Dhruv, you want to share? If I might have.
No, that's it. I think we've had a decent conversation.
Yes.
Everything has been taken care. Just one thing, life is short. Live it. That's it. I'll leave you with that message.
Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.